The hour of judgment is upon us. I'm Maria and I'm here with Damian Kocurek, the creative director of Anshar Games, to dive deeper into the horrors that await us in the upcoming asymmetrical multiplayer horror game Saw Genesis. How's your Gamescom been so far?
It's been good. It's been really good. We just started, letting people in and playing the game, so the reception so far is really awesome. And yeah, it's a very big IP, so for us it's always, exciting, but also, a lot of pressure on us as well.
I was thinking, I feel like Gamescom can be a little bit of a survival game in itself, so I feel like this would be a good prep for everyone when the games come out, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Right, so the first main question I wanted to ask you is, how is Saw Genesis different from any other asymmetrical horror games that are out there?
So that's a good question. A few things that we started from to kind of get something unique in the game is Judge, our killer side, is vulnerable. They can be killed. They are not, the unstoppable physical force. Quite the opposite. You have to, play smart. You have to prepare situations. And if you overplay your hand, you just go down. You can easily die. Yeah. So that definitely changes the dynamic, because the survivors, they are in a tough and desperate situation, but they are not, the people that cannot do anything. They can actually kill them. So that's the one idea that kind of guided us through the beginning, why it actually works. And the second one is the cooperative side. So we try to do it because, we put the locations, it's, the Saw style, it's mostly some sort of building or a location, so it's more cramped, it's more isolated, so it naturally also creates the people to play together, basically. So they have to cooperate more. They actually are in this together. I have to go through it. So the cooperative aspect is the other side that kind of allows us to create a different dynamic than you usually encounter.
And we spoke about the cooperative aspect. So what if there's players who, just want to go it solo? Will they be able to do that, or is this like a very integral part to work together?
No, so that's the kind of thin red line that we try to skate on, basically. So we want to make sure that, if you want to just play solo, you can. So we, put a lot of things to inform you, to give you, information on what happened, what is the state of the game, what is the next objective. So, if someone finds an objective, then you also get informed on it. So you can play without, for example, voice communication, and, a lot of you can play around and with the ping system. Of course, people that play together will probably be better. So that's the kind of matchmaking. We'll have to take that kind of into consideration as well. So to keep it in line, but we don't want to stop players to just going into it and playing part of the game. And fortunately for us, a lot, the location kind of forces you to be together, and there is safety in the kind of playing together. And if you go on your own, you're always risking stuff. So there is a lot of things that help us kind of keep that group playing together and trying. Yeah,
and that was like another question I was going to ask. Like, how are you going to make sure that the community keeps thriving for the years? Because you know how there's metas that evolve, like certain builds and like the way they work together. Is there something that you're looking to make sure that kind of stays fresh? Yeah,
so one of the very early things that we kind of started designing the game around is that we cannot design a game that comes out and then think about what's next, because then it's probably too late. So a lot of the things that we made were made with that in mind. So kind of a lot of it is technical, production-wise, to make sure that we can expand the roster. We can add more stuff. We can add more locations. There are things like, for example, in the locations there are challenges. There are kind of the big puzzles for the players. So we made sure that the challenges are not tied to a location. So if we add a new challenge, then it populates over the entire game. So you can kind of encounter it. So a lot of this stuff kind of gives us options, and then the rest is the plan. So we plan the game from kind of early access, and then every 3 months or a period of time, kind of we give something new, a big drop of new characters, new perks, new location, new story elements, so there is something for everyone, so we want to keep it fresh.
Well, that's great to hear, so there's lots to look forward to. I also wanted to know, the 1920 setting and the Judge, how is that connected to Jigsaw? The
connection is very light, and I don't want to sell everything, but basically this is an information of the group that Jigsaw will find in the future. Basically, that is the idea. The 1920s gives us an option to create something kind of unique, something original in the IP, and at the same time, you know, our group, our judges, they are the imperfect versions. Their traps aren't the perfected versions. They have weaknesses. Their tests aren't really sure. They are experimenting. They are trying. They are kind of, you know, hey, maybe this will work. And if not, then well, that's it happened. Let's go. So there are kind of what we wanted to do mostly in the game is to kind of give you. There might be something that, you know, he got inspired by, but he didn't use it. He sees them in no, you didn't do it well. I do it well, and that's the thing that we want. Because John Kramer is the Jigsaw, and we want to keep him as the Jigsaw and not, you know, have someone before them, basically.
Yeah. So will Billy the puppet be in it?
So we have our own puppet, and that's what I'm gonna say right now. And she's called Betty. So.
And with the traps, I have to know, were there any that were a bit too gory, where we're like, oh, we have to kind of leave that out? Yeah. So we, honestly, it's a lot of exploration and trying to find where the line actually is, and you will cross that line at some point. One of the ideas that we're still kind of still playing with is that you're in first person. That's kind of the fantasy that you can have in the movies. So you're sitting in the first person in the trap, so when it happens, it kind of happens to you. Oh, wow.
And that can be really uncomfortable sometimes. So we definitely did play a lot with it, and there were some ideas that kind of I don't even know if stopped. So far they're kind of frozen because we need to see how far can we go and how far is also cool. Because, you know, there is a point where we make a game where nobody wants to play because there's, you know, there's too much of it. And that's probably, you know, too far. And so we are trying to keep it so that it is gory and gruesome, but it is also cool, you know, and it's not too far.
Yeah. And then I wanted to know, do you have a favorite trap maybe that you can tell us about?
Maybe from the ones that we've shown, and the one that is this also can be played through is the acid trap. Because you have to take, you know, an old rusty spoon and take your own eye out, which is gruesome. But I also think that this is one of the ideas that really gives us something that you don't see in the movies, because it's a small thing, but when you're looking at it and that spoon kind of comes to your eye, that is a very visceral experience that really kind of works. So that would be my current favorite, and you know, it can change.
So now the judge has kind of the overview. What is there any tips that you can give players who might be jumping into it soon?
So play with it, kind of play with the people, try to bait them, try to, you know, lock them in rooms, try to separate them, kind of. The strike isn't always important. First is creating the situation, kind of forcing them into going different ways, creating chaos. That's the thing. So when you focus on that, then it kind of plays really awesome.
But can you tell me, when can we expect to play it?
So right now we're running closed alpha tests, so we're heading into the second one. We just got the first one, and we're aiming for fall of 2026, and we'll be informing about the exact date when we get there.
Okay, very exciting.
Your book, Bound in Blood, inspires those who are worthy.
Thank you again so much for chatting to us about Soul Genesis. For more Soul Genesis than anything else, make sure you stay tuned to IGN.